Regular meeting of the school committee of the town of Foxborough, today, April 27th, 2015. Tonight's agenda will begin with visitors, followed by approval of minutes. We then have a proposal for the Sam Burns Memorial Turf Field, Community Field. We'll have a teaching and learning highlight tonight, a discussion on unified track and field, a update on the Cambridge Institute for International Education, the Computer Science Summer Camp Program. I know Mrs. Spinelli's excited to talk about that tonight.
I am.
Approval of overnight travel for the Foxborough High School European trip, an update on the fiscal year 15 budget, acceptance of donation from Schneider Electric, and then other matters. I did want to start tonight. These are always hard to do, especially hard when we lose one of our students. I think most everyone in the community knows how special Danny Nickerson is and was and will continue to always be. He was a 6-year-old kindergarten student at the Burrell who had a rare brain cancer, and after a brave fight, Danny succumbed to that. And I just wanted to take a moment of silence on behalf of Danny Nickerson. Thank you. Ms. Spinelli, did you want to offer any thoughts about Danny and his family?
It's always really hard for me. Just our heartfelt condolences to them. He really was a very joyful, innocent little boy, as he should be, and brought a lot of sunshine to a lot of people. So.
Well, we wish his family strength at this time, and we know Danny's in a good place. Okay, any visitors who want to be recognized tonight? Seeing none, we'll move to approval of minutes. We have 2 minutes tonight, I think, 2 sets of minutes. We'll start with the special meeting minutes from the joint meeting with the advisory committee. This was March 25th here at the Media Center.
I have no comments. Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And now the regular meeting minutes from April 6th. I didn't see anything. I don't know if anybody else did.
I have no changes.
Okay. Motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
I'm going to abstain. I was absent for that meeting.
Thank you. Yep, thank you, Steve. Great. Okay. I heard there's an exciting presentation from the class of 2015.
Yes, we thought we would do this first on our agenda, so I'd like to invite Mr. Rico, and we have Kayla Seppi, president of class, and Brian DeVellis. If you would come up, just take a chair from the front row, and come right up to the visitors' table. We thought we'd start with you, since you probably have homework and other things to do. Thought we'd give you the first slot. So, these two wonderful students are representing the graduating class of 2015. And if you remember back in the fall, there was a discussion about the class wanting to do something as their class gift. And they're coming to you tonight so that you can consider their concept and hopefully vote to approve the concept of what they're doing. All right, I'll turn it over to Kayla and Brian.
Thank you. So hi, my name is Kayla Seppi,
And I'm Brian DeVellis.
and we'd like to represent the class 2015. Our proposal of our class gift is in honor of our classmate Sam Burns. After previously dedicating the turf field in memory of Sam, we felt that a way in which we could further our tribute would be through building a garden and/or patio in remembrance of Sam. Along with his name on the scoreboard, we hope to have an area that allows our community to have a personalized understanding of Sam. And with that, we're proposing for a garden and/or walkway to be designed and presented from the senior class 2015 to the community.
So we're going to kind of go over the fundraising and the design and construction and timetable. But first, we're going to start off with the design. You guys all have the picture in front of you, right?
Yep.
So that right now is just kind of idea of what we're going to construct. It takes a lot of steps. Like we have Mr. Bill Mata helping us right now. He owns his own company. He would kind of help go through the process. But like I said, this is an idea because we're not sure what the exact funds are going to be or what the turf might look like in a couple of years. Let's say there's a track which is a possibility. So this idea right now, it would take a lot of steps. We have to excavate the lawn, the base material, the sand bedding, and this would come out to about roughly $17,000. So let's say we get a couple thousand extra, or we're a little short, we might make the square footage larger, smaller, maybe change the flowers or move it a little bit. So this is kind of an idea. That's more, we're going to push that to later when we have an idea of the funds and how much we have and how much we have to spare. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We like to kind of focus on the funds and then see where it takes us.
So as for the funds, like Brian said, probably the most we would be looking at is $15,000. But if we downscale design, which will be a possibility in the future, the funds could go down to as low as 7 or 8. And with that, we also have to take into consideration the plantings, the patio. So those are some things to consider. But our plan of action for fundraising would be steps we'll take, such as putting our name on the project in the Foxborough Reporter within the first week if the plan is accepted. We'd also like to take the youth sports into our project, and hopefully they can assist us in fundraising, and high school sports as well, because we all know that Sam had left such an impact on the high schoolers, and we know that this is a close project to the high schoolers. We'd also like to possibly put this on the Foxborough Cable Access. And another idea that we had was the GoFundMe fundraiser, which is now online. And what it basically is you can create a page and you talk about your design, your project, and anyone through Facebook or online, just any type of social media, they can go to your page and they can donate whichever donation they'd like to give you.
And one more thing about the funds. I mean, us being high school kids, we've never dealt with this much money before, but we feel he has a very big supporting group. I mean, he's kind of an icon. We have his followers, as well as, like we said, we'd reach out to the youth sports, and they use the field all the time. They might feel inclined to help donate. And Anthony Fertitta, he used the GoFundMe account. I'm sure you guys know, but just for anyone who doesn't, he was a senior and I was a freshman, and he was injured when he went into the Boston for the parade, and he was assaulted, and he raised $20,500 in about a month. So, I mean, he was very successful, and he had a very big supporting group, and we know Sam does as well.
And yeah, I as well believe that this town is a strong supporter of Sam, and I believe that they'll support this project because of the impact Sam left in our community. Do you want to talk about construction?
Sure. So I mentioned earlier Mr. Bill Mata. He's been great in helping us out, kind of overseeing what we're not very educated about. So he gave me an idea. He sat down with us and talked about the manual labor and ordering supplies. At first he gave us an original price of what it would cost us, and then he's going to kind of help bump it down a little bit with maybe he would help donate, or I know we could get plenty of volunteers who would help come out with us for a couple days, and he said about 3 days for volunteers to help and come out, and that would lower the cost, and I'm sure getting volunteers would be no problem. Maybe sometime late in May or early June.
And as for a timeline, we know that this is a little ambitious, obviously, but we're hoping to possibly get it done before graduation because it is a class gift, and we're hoping to present it as a class before graduation. If not, our next step would be to have the plan on class night and to present or propose the plan to the class, basically show them the designs, show them our idea, and explain to them that this will be built after graduation. But if not, then our plans were to have the funds by May 23rd and then have construction start by May 30th and then have that done by graduation. But again, we don't know the funds, so we're kind of playing the construction and the timeline by ear as of right now.
Okay. That was one of the questions we had, because your thing said by June 30th.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
you
that
meant-
would,
we all figured out, we figured you meant May.
They were
Yeah.
so excited.
Yeah.
That's an optimistic time, I'll say.
Yeah.
So,
Don't forget the FMA too, because Sam was such a part of the music
oh,
program.
Yes.
of course, absolutely.
That's true.
And so would it hypothetically be also a good idea if, because this is a wonderful class gift. I don't know if people in the community are aware that each graduating class does leave a class gift, which is wonderful. This is a really ambitious one, which I think is very appropriate to your group, and I have no doubt your group's gonna be able to do it. So if someone had a graduating senior and they wanted to contribute to this in honor of their own child, as part, they could do that, assuming it doesn't replace the laptop that's going with you to college or
Oh, of
anything
course.
like that. Right, so parents could do this as
Sure.
well. So I think it's great that you
Yep.
set up a GoFundMe account, 'cause it'll make it so much easier for people
Exactly.
who wanna do something on behalf of anyone in the class, they could do that.
And then the GoFundMe account, so that'll be, we'll create a separate page for the project, but then also as a class, we have an account, and I'm sure, can we like set aside maybe
We'll set up a separate account.
a separate account for
class
the class 2015. So if people did want to donate, they could donate to the class.
Yeah, so that would be up pretty soon. If this were to be approved, we would have that up very soon, trying to advertise it. So if anyone wants to donate, we'd make that as easy as possible.
Smart.
I think it's a great idea, and you're going to reach people outside of Foxborough too, grandparents, aunts, uncles, people who knew Sam, people who read about Sam. So I think it's a great idea for fundraising for this particular project especially.
you.
So get it up and going.
Did you guys have other comments, or was that what you had? You did a great job, by the way. If you're good, I'll open it for the committee for other comments and
Yeah,
questions.
I think we're all set for now, just for whatever you guys want to say.
All right, great. Debbie, Steve, anything you want to add?
I like the design, I love the idea. I also think as a school committee, we should consider, and I think it's completely good to do, is the costs of ownership, that is maintenance. It seems like the maintenance costs will be very minimal.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to really be concerned about that. I think it would be something we'd be grateful to be able to maintain. That's my opinion. And do you students need any help managing the funds? How will they be managed as they come in and tracked and that sort of thing? Do you have a plan for that, or will there be faculty helping you or something like that?
We do control myself and Jim Callahan, we control the funds coming into the class.
Great.
And those are monitored by the administration and
Great.
from our faculty.
Yeah, it can get
Funds
busy, that's why, and
Yeah.
going to the Excel spreadsheets.
A lot of money
it's
going in
really-
and out.
All right, thanks. I love the idea,
Just where the placement is, I'm glad you are aware of the fact that still we will
The track.
eventually have that track around. So the original placement is very
Yes.
crucial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, once we figure out exactly what we have to deal with, we can move that a little. I mean, another option we would have would be to kind of, so this is off the walkway, and another option we were considering would be to move it to the walkway, make it nicer, put the pavers, have some flowering on the sides, and then put a plaque with maybe a picture or quote in the middle, instead of having the offset patio. So,
Our main goal was for when people to walk in. The sign is great, and we love that, and we love that people know that this is the Sam Burns Community Field. But we also want people to kind of get a sense of Sam and that who he was and his legacy. And I think having a nice plaque when you walk in with a nice garden to kind of represent, kind of give like a nice feel to the field. Just so,
yeah.
I think that's kind of what we wanted to.
Is
That's how
is
we
the
want to get our
family
point
okay
across.
with this? Is the family weighed in on this?
We talked it to the family over the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and they were very supportive of the project. We haven't been in touch with them lately, but we actually did. We called them the other day, so. or
Yeah,
two
and
days.
when we were in touch with them, they seemed very supportive, and they were happy that we were doing this. So,
Great. Now, I know a fellow with the same last name as you that might be able to help with design.
oh yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you.
I too like the idea. I think it's very appropriate for this class to recognize Sam, and so I think it's a nice idea you guys have come up with. Kayla and Brian, great presentation.
Thank you.
And my only 2 cents in addition would be, I would love to see you do it, even if you did it on a smaller scale before graduation, because once you guys have graduated, you're gonna probably want to be doing other things, and
Yeah.
and other classes could add to it. The school committee might be able to add to it. So even if you can't get to the full scale you envision, you might decide it's worth doing what you can,
Yeah.
so that you do have it in time for graduation, if Mr. Mata can accommodate the schedule. But
Oh, yeah,
it's
definitely.
your choice, but that'd just be my reaction
Thank
listening
you.
to the presentation.
Thank you.
So great job, and I think you have our consensus to move forward with that plan.
Do we need a motion?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Good luck.
All right.
Thank you.
We're all set?
Thank you.
We're all
Yes.
set.
Thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you.
Go.
Brian,
Move
is there
ahead.
any reason you're wearing that particular sweatshirt?
I mean, I haven't decided on it. I'm glad you asked. Only the 100th person to ask. But
The 100th person to ask.
how many chairs should I leave? How many people are coming on?
You can leave both there. That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Great job. Actually, I have to give them credit. They worked on it last week during school vacation, and Kate looked at the time to come and meet with Mr. Euchner and myself about the placement, so they're fully prepared and ready to go. And while we love having you at meetings, you shouldn't feel compelled to stay in the back row for the rest of the meeting. So don't worry.
Okay, teaching and learning highlights. Tonight we're featuring the Ahern Middle School Music Technology Lab with Ms. Pink Sewell
Yes.
helping us. Hello.
To invite Liana up. Hi. Remember, a few years ago, the replacement of the Music Technology Lab at the Ahern was one of our capital improvement items a few years ago. And it was a wonderful thing that the committee supported and the capital improvement planning committee supported and the town supported through town meeting. And you haven't really heard what goes on in there, so thrilled to have you guys here.
I'm so excited to share this with you. And hopefully the speakers will be loud enough, so we want them to play through here. Is that what we're hoping for people?
and that will pick it up.
Okay.
You have a couple of young gentlemen with you, I see.
They make me look good, so I brought them. This is Corey Hall and Daniel Adam. They are two of the students that have not only gone through the music tech program at the Ahern Middle School, but they are also currently taking the Intro to Piano and Keyboarding class, which also involves our technology department. And I wanted to publicly thank not only the town, but Mr. Ted Haggerty, who was kind of our front man for making this dream come true. And he expressed his gratitude for giving us the opportunity to share this with the town of Foxborough. For those, it's kind of fun seeing my former teacher and mentor here, Miss Beverly Lord, and I grew up with Mrs. Spinelli. So not only am I very
Not
proud.
actually with me, because that would make you double your age, but
She was, she's one of the moms in my life. So not only am I representing the music department, but also a product of what the Town of Foxborough Music Program has meant to me. And it's truly an honor to pass it on to now the new students that sit in the seats where I sat a while ago. So I'm really excited to be here tonight, and Corey and Daniel are two of my best students, and I'm not just saying that to butter them up. They have worked very hard to be here tonight. So some of the things that I wanted to share with you, I've got a few pictures here that will hopefully work, and I always like to say that when we're doing a technology presentation, it's the technology that fails first. So the first thing I wanted to show you, this is a panoramic view of our music technology lab at the Ahern Middle School. As you can see, we've got 25 working computers that have that are connected to keyboards, so that the students are able to play into the computer, whether it's through musical compositions. We also have a program that they use to learn music notes, rhythms, and they're able to play notation into the computer to see how accurate they're learning it. Each of them has their own private set of headphones, and we also have a set of keyboards that wrap around the classroom in the middle. I could go up there and point, I guess, but that's fine. And then there's a teacher computer hub right in the middle where I have my own headset, and I guess I can come over here really quickly. So right here we have two hubs. This one, oh, this is a smart board, isn't it? This one right here connects me to all of the computers. So if they want to be working independently, I can communicate with them through the headset and we don't have to be yelling across the classroom. It also helps to save my voice if we're having a class discussion. And then this hub right here connects to all of the piano keyboards so that when they're playing individual pieces, I could actually listen to it through my headset and give them instruction if I needed to, or just wanted to hear what they're working on. That's not exactly how I work my classroom. I do walk around and I interact with them. I don't just sit at the computer. But it could be worked for that way. So the first set of new electives that we've offered trying to use this lab, and this is only the second year that we've offered it, is the music technology program, which has recently been continued up at the high school level as well. So we've kind of become a feeder program now into the high school, which is great. And having Mr. Piper here, who is trained in music production and technology, really adds to all of these components. And then this is the second semester. We've also offered the intro to piano and keyboarding class, which is for students who are basically starting out from scratch or have had minimal lessons and they want to improve. So they start basically learning beginning note names, rhythms, how to read music, and the goal, if you don't have, 3 weeks of snow days, is that by the end of the semester they can actually accompany songs using chords, and their final is to play a piece. So in the matter of about 5 months, they've been able to progress that much. So I meet with them every other day, so they either see me 3 days a week or twice a week, depending on which week it is. So I would like to just ask maybe Corey first to explain his experience, and I've got one of his pieces up here to play for you, so I'll get that queued up while he talks.
Would you just repeat your name again, son? I don't remember your name.
You know who I am.
I know. I'm familiar with Mr. Hall. Yes, thank you.
Honestly, I thought this class was really quite amazing because it lets me express myself through music and not through words, and it makes me share my interests. And being a musician, I think this helps me let it out, and it also helps me with songwriting, which is something I just started doing.
Now, was Mixcraft the first time you've been involved in composition, or had you done anything else before?
I haven't done real composition. I've done transcription, which is taking other songs and making covers of them. But when it comes to composition, yes, that's a first.
Cool. So before I play you one of Corey's pieces, just so you can get an idea of what they're doing. So here is what we have called the Mixcraft 5 program. The latest one is actually Mixcraft 6, which they use up here at the high school. But we're still using Mixcraft 5, which is fine. So what you see in front of you is basically a looping program. So how the students first started is they would go into a library where there were all sorts of looping tracks, which means pre-recorded tracks. These were not their own tracks, but later on in the semester they actually do compose their own music and track them down and make their own piece. So what you're seeing in front of you is multiple tracks that the students were going to fill up. So that's the blank canvas that they first receive when they start this project. And then as they continue, they start to fill up the tracks, and you can see the sound waves going across them. And down at the bottom of the screen is the library that they have to choose from, so they can listen to the sample tracks, and then they drag them up into their looping, and you can hear them all together. So the first piece I'm going to play for you, this is Corey's jazz piece, and hopefully it'll work. We can always hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not coming through the speakers though. I don't know if you can hear some of that. Okay. Yeah. We were trying to get it to come out of these speakers, but they're not. Okay. So what you heard in there are jazz instruments. You have a drum set, trumpets, saxes, bass, guitar?
Basically a full ensemble.
Okay. And they were given guidelines. They had a full syllabus, and they were given guidelines. So this was the syllabus that the students received, and they worked on 7 different projects throughout the semester, and this one was their their 5th project was their jazz. So they had done some composing before they got to this. So now I'll let Daniel share a little bit about his experience with music tech and maybe a little more about the piano class.
Yeah. I found both classes enriching because they have not only helped me understand the composition of the songs as well as what the note order is, but it has helped me with just tone, I guess, if that makes any sense. The piano class has definitely helped me understand this different range of instruments that do exist, and it gives me something to do with the piano I have at my house. And I have already worked out a few rhythms that I didn't know were as simple as they are. Yeah.
So these 2 gentlemen are awesome. We have some other students that were really great in the class too, and showed a lot of progress. Can I actually play your Halloween one? Would that be all right?
Yeah, sure.
So for the music tech class, we actually had it during Halloween, and it was one day where we had some kids absent, and there were lots of field trips. So we had a little fun on Halloween, and we used a lot of the sound effects. This one might be a little softer. So you can hear the footsteps and the doors closing.
It's creative.
I wonder if you like a scream in there. Yeah. And you can hear the heavy breathing now and the knife slicing. Anyway, so they had a lot of fun with sound effects, and what that later became, which we didn't quite get to everyone doing stuff in their semester, but I do have one example, and I really, really hope it comes out. From a previous semester, for those of you that might remember Owen Vacheron, who's now the high school, he has a couple of brothers that precede him quite well, and I hope that I can find. No, that's not his. Let's see. I'm hoping these open. So this was a video that Owen made. He did a soundtrack to a Zelda video game.
Oh.
And every sound that you hear, which of course you can hardly hear, it's so soft, but every sound from that video that I can hear is not on the screen. He created every sound effect. So he started with soft sounds, and then as the dragon comes out, he created a building crescendo in the music, and something that you would typically hear in a video game, just some background music, and then as the dragon crashes, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but he has a growl in there, and it's like, roar, and then it goes down into the sand. And if you were watching it not knowing, you would think it was part of the soundtrack, but he created that. So the kids get to do so much, and the last one that I got permission to play is Cole Hovey, and this was him being experimental during piano class one day. And he was singing a song about Miss Pink.
You?
Anyway, but he was just playing around with the chords that we had been working on, and you know, was singing the song. But they have fun. learning how to use all this technology that's in front of them. So we really do have a good time in the class, and as the class is evolving, we're developing more curriculums that fit this age group better. There are more curriculums out there for music technology for the high school and college level. So I've been progressively working on a middle school curriculum for music technology, as well as the Intro to Piano Keyboarding class. So the kids who are taking Intro to Piano Keyboarding actually get 4 units of information that I have compiled from books from all over the world. And I have put together this data so that they can learn it to the best of their ability, and they can also work independently so they don't feel rushed, and they can work at a pace that works for them, but still all learning the same information. So we're really excited to have this program and to have the support of not only the music program, but to support these students. And they can actually get Mixcraft 5 as a trial session on their own computers at home so that they can do the work at home as well.
Oh, my.
So that's been pretty exciting for them to take home and figure out. And if they have pianos and keyboards at home, they can take this home and practice.
That's a great presentation. That's a great example of a teaching and learning highlight. Any comments from the committee? Tina?
I want to go back to school.
Yeah, well.
Sorry, my name's not Tina, but I want to go back.
All right, Bevy. All right, we hear you.
Well, 2 things. This is an 8th grade elective,
This
right?
is
It's
8th
just for
grade,
8th graders. And are the labs open after school so you can go in and you know, and have you had the opportunity to go and spend some extra time there? Or
Well, they're usually busy rehearsing.
yeah, well, there you go. I was just curious if there was any, you know, opportunity if they wanted to extend their learning in this area. And
They can come after school. They also have what's called 20 minutes, which
Right.
is kind of like a study period time during the day. And in the past, I've had students come down and work on their projects. They also do podcast projects, and they've come down and worked together on creating podcasts during their 20 minutes as well. So I don't know if you two have come in afterwards to work on, no, the looks on their faces say no. But they do have that opportunity too.
That's great.
If I came in just to work on Mixcraft, I would just be fooling around with all the sounds and stuff.
Hey, you're welcome
There you
to.
go.
Okay.
You're welcome
There you
to.
go.
That's the point, right?
Yep.
And that's how you learn and evolve and create.
Right.
So, what was your favorite thing, both of you, in this class that you did?
I liked how free I was to express my feelings within the music.
Why don't you tell them about the first project? That might help give them some
The
background.
first project was Who I Am, and the assignment was just to find, explore through the sounds and put together a song that you think expressed who you are. And it was a lot of fun because I got to show people who I didn't know personally who I was as a person, and I think that's a really good thing to be able to do.
That's great.
Yeah, like he was saying, I don't normally express myself with words. I do it through music, and my Who I Am project was a metal song, and so like I don't really look like a metal person, but on the inside I'm aggressive.
I was surprised, but I loved it. It was great.
Isn't it lovely that you channel it through such a creative and appropriate outlet?
Yes.
That's great, actually. That's an interesting tidbit to know about you.
It is nice. It's fun to hear how their personalities come through in their music, because you can't judge a book by their cover at all. But it does come out in their compositions.
Isn't that what a creator does, is express themselves through whatever medium it is?
Sure.
I don't know of any other middle school that has a music technology lab. I
No.
know you have a network that's bigger than mine in this
Few
world.
and far between.
Yes.
The last time I've seen a lab like this was actually when I was student teaching, about 8 years ago. So
Where was that?
That was in Utah, actually. I know they exist in Massachusetts, but I would say in our district, we are one of the rarities, and we've actually had quite a few music teachers on staff development days, or they take a day off just to come in and look at our music wings, just to see what we have. And we then are given another point of view that we are very, very fortunate, because I think the music staff here, most of us have been a product of it. And so, we've seen other examples, but we just expect it, and we expect excellence. And so we feel very privileged when other teachers come to our community and say, you guys are so lucky. We wish we had this. And we're like, you're right, we are. So we extend our gratitude to everyone who's been a part of this. So thank you.
Any other comments from the committee?
I'm a big metal guy, you can probably tell. No, I heard a little Dave Brubeck in there in your work. I don't know, I thought I heard some Take Five sort of riffing it.
I'm also a jazz musician.
Yeah, it was really
lead
cool.
drummer of the jazz band at the Hearn.
There you go. But for both of you fellas, I wondered, does what you're getting out of this class help you in other classes, and do you appreciate the mentoring that you have from the teacher as well as other students, and can you give that out now that you're starting to climb the smarts on this? Have you been doing that at all, or do you think it's something that you'll be doing down the road, showing
Yeah.
people some ropes?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah?
It's something I'm going to use in my future.
Great. Cool. Thank you.
Well, and that was my thought when you showed the music that accompanied the video game. I mean, that's an employable skill right there that they're going to come out of middle school with. So that's pretty good. That's incredible. Leanna, thank you. Corey, Daniel, great job.
Thank you so
Great
much.
job.
Thank you guys
Very
for coming today.
impressive.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very impressive. And gentlemen, now you know a new project, a song about Miss Pink. I like that idea. I expect it to have some metal in it.
Yes, and some dubstep too.
Yes.
That's my thing.
Absolutely. Isn't that terrific?
It is incredible.
That really is the kind of thing that very few people know about it. I remember we advocated for that project, but when you actually see what it does for kids on the way out.
The only thing I would say differently is I'm not sure another song for Miss Pink. I think maybe a song for Mrs. Abrams might be lovely, but
That would be great.
Oh, that would be even more interesting. Or Mr. Haggerty, because I just want to, I want to reiterate, Ted Haggerty initiated this, and invited Bill and I over to advocate and show us the condition of the technology lab and the keyboards and how many were broken. He really was a great advocate. So he couldn't be here tonight, but many kudos to him. He's really second to none. He really is when it comes to advocacy. So you guys make a great team.
Thank you. We've had for a long
Terrific.
time.
Yes, you have.
okay, Unified Track and Field, a Special Olympics unified sports opportunity.
Yeah, so I'd like to invite Caitlin Brown, our athletic director, and Teresa Petty, who is our newest Foxborough High School wellness teacher, if you remember the position we added. Teresa, I just want to say at the outset, you brought so much to an already strong department, but it's been really great to see what you've done in just a few months here at high school.
I appreciate it. It is a great department. I'm very lucky to be here.
Wonderful.
Okay, well, thank you for having us, and thank you for this opportunity. We had, the Hockomock League in the last few years have had discussions about how we can include more student athletes in all of our programs throughout the league. And there was an opportunity start in the fall where the MIAA is looking to, again, include more and more participants in interscholastic competition. And so myself, the Milford Athletic Director, the Sharon Athletic Director, the Oliver Ames Athletic Director, plus Taunton, and then Walpole, all decided to take on this responsibility of starting a unified track program. And what it really essentially is a track program, and we're fortunate enough to have Mrs. Petty here, Teresa here, because she has a great background in Special Olympics. So it's a combination of student athletes with intellectual and developmental disabilities partnering with another student from within the student body, but all participating on one team together. It's been going on in Central Mass for the last 11 years, but this is the first year we're bringing it to Southern Massachusetts. So right now we have 3 meets set up with a league meet, and we'll have our student athletes competing together. And I think Teresa could probably speak to more about how the meet will work, because I'm very excited, but I really don't know what to expect because this is so new to this area.
So the unified sports they do for other sports like basketball or soccer, and everyone competes together. And it did start off as the partner helping make the Special Olympian more successful, and Special Olympics wanted to erase that line of now they're all just athletes working together. If you participate in a unified team, you are athletes. You are all athletes participating. So the track and field is new. They have a state meet for track and field, but just for Special Olympics and Special Olympians only, not a unified team. So this is becoming new and will not have a state meet this year. So we're just doing the regional meets with the hopes of next year, I think, right, Special Olympics
Yes,
at
I'm
once
hoping,
to
yeah.
get into a states meet. So it is building. Sorry. So this year we'll run the meets. They do a softball throw as a shot put. We do a turbo jab, which is a hard plastic with a rubber tip javelin throw, and they're weighted differently for a more successful throw. And they're doing all the way up to an 800 for the run. So we're going to do a 100-yard dash, 400, and an 800, and they're going to do relay race, 4x4 relay race, and a 4x100, yeah, relay race, and they'll do the 100-yard dash. There's also a running long jump to participate in. So we are going to be using the middle school track and field for that to practice. With the start of Warrior Teammate next year, we'll be able to use that as a incorporated practice time for next year. So this year is really just kind of getting the feel for all these teams because it's new to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And with the meets, and next year will be, all the kinks. You know how first year goes. So the expectancy is that there'll be some little kinks this year that will get worked out, and that we'll be able to move through for all the teams. So the meets are all scheduled for around 4 o'clock, and they're expecting, my understanding is just depending on how many heats they have to do, but about 2 hours to get through them all. So, and so we'll be taking a bus to all the meets, and the Foxborough High School track team, I believe, has volunteered to help us when we host the meet.
When we host the meet, it's
Yeah.
on a Thursday, and they said they'd help out with the different facilities, helping people
Timing and measuring.
timing and measuring and getting through that.
So it's good to get the whole community kind of involved as well. So the people, the athletes have all been filling out
Participation forms,
yeah.
And we are very fortunate to have I think, an incredible Best Buddies program already in our school,
Yeah.
where we have many students who are participating in that. And, even, I just saw Kayla Seppi as she's leaving, and says, I want to know more. You're graduating, but I would love for you to be there. And she's already a track athlete. But we've worked with Dave Griffin and Diane Galante to work with their students and the Best Buddies program that Dave runs at the high school to try to incorporate as many kids as we can. I think that if you've ever seen, I don't know if it's on cable access, but the Special Olympics pep rally that the high school has done in the last 2 years, it just is a testament to our students and the support they give each other, everyone. So we're hoping to build on that support, and we'll see how it goes. I wish I had it,
Yeah, the kids, they love the success, and just all the students love just the feeling of knowing that they're being successful and doing ultimate fun, smiles on their face the whole time, and the win or loss usually doesn't matter. And the medaling, and what I've been involved in Special Olympics in the past, the kids are very excited to get their medal, but if they don't medal a lot of the times, they just had a great time. So I love the community that Special Olympics brings. I feel all people should have access to a healthy lifestyle, and Special Olympics really helps promote that, because it's hard for us to motivate to exercise or move without a goal towards. So Special Olympics gives them a goal, everyone a goal to kind of work for. So even some of our mainstream students that maybe not our PAVE students are really excited, and you saw them, so I'm going to actually run. Yes, you're going to run. So if we have a 4x4 team, you're going to be running the 4x4. So they're all going to work together. So it's going to be an absolute great experience for everyone, and only get better, I think. So
That actually touches on one of the questions in my mind. So the students with the disabilities and the students without disabilities, they all they actually all compete. It's not just a mentoring.
No, they all run together. So it would be whoever the best 4 athletes are for our 4x100, they'll all run together, and they will, help and support each other.
And we can do like a heat 1,
Yep.
heat 2, if there's more participants than that. Yeah, we can do a second heat. So
I'm just curious how many students you have participating.
So we'll have a final notification kind of through us off. I know of right now we have 9 students. close to 20 students who have said interest. We're gonna have another meeting tomorrow, kind of go over the logistics. We have the track uniform, so everyone's gonna get a track uniform, a Foxborough High track uniform. Special Olympics donated the turbo jabs to us. There was also a $2,000 grant that went along with it to cover any costs that are associated with us to help through Special Olympics to help us cover this, and so in order to run this program. So
That's good.
Very exciting.
very excited. I'm really excited. I'm really tempted to drive to Milford on Thursday just to watch it, especially since we're having I probably will be driving to Milford on Thursday and watching how it runs and how it competes. And I could use motivation to work out, so maybe I'll throw on a uniform.
Try to make sure I'm there on the 7th, because
Yes.
it's local. And the Special Olympics is what date? And because I don't want to miss the pep rally, so can you make sure you let me know, because that was an
Yeah, I think it's
unbelievable experience.
When is the you don't know yet?
So fun.
No, we do know. I knew the date and I can't remember it off the
Of
top
course,
of my
Joe
head.
knows.
Joe, do
Joe
you
knows
know?
everything I don't know off the top of my head. Yes, Joseph?
Well, the pep rally, they usually have the pep rally after Special Olympics, but this year they're doing it before, because Special Olympics isn't until June 10th this year. And then plus after June 10th, well, there won't be a lot of time left of school, because classes are gonna start preparing for final exams.
Ah, so the pep rally is before June 10th?
Yeah, it'll be May 29th.
Oh.
Like you do.
I'm telling you, he knows everything
he
that I have
does.
forgotten.
I love it.
Thank you, Joe. Great stuff.
Other comments from the committee?
Sounds like a great program,
It's gonna be great.
We're really excited.
really does.
And the costs you said are covered by a grant.
Yes, there's a $2,000 grant.
Yeah,
That's great.
Most of the cost.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you for taking it on.
Very
Well, thank you. I mean, we're very fortunate to have Teresa here because of her knowledge and her background. It's really allowed us to take this on, and as much anxiety as I have about starting something new in the first year, not having a template to kind of work off of, she's been so beneficial to me to, talking me through it and making sure that I'm calm. And so we're really lucky because she brings an expertise that we're just really
Certainly does.
fortunate.
It's a great example of hiring strong, saying, getting the best person.
Hiring strong?
Hiring
I
strong.
like that.
That's, you're a great example of
I
that, so
hope to
thank
get
you.
more Special Olympics teams kind of going at this, other sports, but we can talk about that at a later date.
You're welcome to come back.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
She's also, I know you're gonna get an update, maybe at the next meeting, about what's been going on with wellness, but she also teaches some of the more unique wellness opportunities at the high school.
Group
Good.
exercise,
Good.
yoga.
Good.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Look forward to hearing about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the 29th, the pep rally?
Yes,
Thank you.
which is, mostly the kid, it's really a high school pep rally, I just want before we get there.
You wanna
But the
know
Special Olympics is open to anybody who wants to go.
You want to know
Where
the
is that?
time or location of the pep rally? We probably can figure that.
Yeah, I'll
Oh, well,
ask-
we don't,
I'll ask
I just
Joe
want to say,
after
we don't
after
usually,
we
right?
adjourn.
I feel like I must say, both the regular and Special Olympic pep rallies, when we do them, are actually closed.
Yeah,
They're not
I know.
open to the public.
Oh,
Just-
rats, okay.
Better
sorry.
make
Well,
sure I
put it
say
in my
that.
calendar, I just won't go.
Well,
Yeah.
the school
They're
cleanup.
closed, they're for the kids, and
Okay.
that's why we keep it that way.
All right, we're ready to talk about host family recruitment for
Oh,
the
this is
Cambridge
exciting.
Institute for International Education program.
Very exciting. So we have actively started our recruitment for students coming from mostly China, we expect, but it could be anywhere in the world, actually, through
You
the
want
Cambridge
to
Institute.
back up and just spend a minute on the program, just in case people...
Sure, that's a good idea. So the Cambridge, we recently formed a partnership with Cambridge Institute for International Education, and they are out of Cambridge, but one of our, we are probably one of about 20 to 21 high schools in Massachusetts that are Cambridge Institute schools. And I think they're gonna cap it at about that, so we believe we're one of the last few to get in. Actually, I just spoke to them today about a different thing having to do with this. So really what the program is an opportunity to bring international students here to Foxborough High School. In terms of taxpayers, they actually pay tuition to come here. So they're typically students from other countries, in the first round, at least, we expect mostly China. We are only going to look to recruit 4 or 5 students for September, and we probably will never grow to more than 10 because you do want it to be a manageable program. And those students will come from other countries. They'll pay a tuition. They pay a fee to Cambridge Institute. They pay a tuition that we've established here, which will be $13,500. And the families also pay Cambridge for host family opportunities, which is what I'm going to get into tonight. So we've put a lot of information out there about the program. The committee voted to support the program. So I think this is really an important part of our global education and global connectivity initiative that we have through our strategic plan, and the high school has as its own personal goal, and Mrs. Myers-Packlew couldn't be here today. It's a very important focus of her tenure as principal is global education. So it's hard to provide those opportunities here in our wonderful little town of Foxborough. So one of the things that we wanted to do was to start bringing international students here so that we could provide our students with more connection and find out what happens around the world and what are the issues and what is their life like and what do we have in common. And really that's really what it is to connect our students to others around the world and have that appreciation and understanding of cultural interdependence and cultural appreciation. So as part of that, I hope I summed it up.
No, that was great.
As part of that, we are inviting up to 5 international students to join us starting this September. So we've started the recruitment. We had a very unique opportunity to have Karen Fraser, who's our World Language Department head, literally with only a few weeks' notice, go with Cambridge Institute to China over the school vacation week. She just returned back. And that usually doesn't happen. Most of the recruitment happens as students apply. Oh, goody. Students apply, and we get to decide whether we're going to accept students here for the international program. But usually you do that either through Skyping or interviewing or paperwork or over the phone conversations and interviews. Unusually, China's largest international education company in China showed very recent interest in partnering with Cambridge here in Massachusetts to recruit students that they have, which is a wonderful opportunity for us and for Cambridge Institute. So they requested representatives from 5 high schools to travel to China and do some face-to-face recruiting in 5 different provinces and cities in China. So I think with 2.5 weeks notice, Karen said she would be the one to go. And so she left with a delegation from Cambridge Institute and went to China and traveled across China completely at the expense of Cambridge Institute because they're developing this new partnership. So that's why it was a unique opportunity. They paid all of her expenses except for souvenirs, as they put it. So there was no expense to us here in Foxborough. And it really gave us a great opportunity as the newest member of the Cambridge Institute family to put our face to people in China who are going to be recommending high schools and unique matches to their students there. So she certainly had a busy 10 days in China, and at some point we certainly could have her here to give us.
I was just thinking that
Right, she just
exact thing.
returned. So at some point we could certainly have her come here.
After she gets over jet lag.
Yes, which will be quite a while. So as part of this program, we're very confident we'll be able to recruit some good students to come here. So they're either students who want the 1-year educational experience in the United States, just to have the educational experience, or they could be the profile of student that they want to come here to get a United States diploma so that they may apply to American colleges and universities. So those are the 2 profiles of students that we have decided to accept here. So they are students whose English proficiency is good. Cambridge provides all the tutoring, academic tutoring, and they also provide a homestay coordinator. So someone who is only going to be the network, the mentor to the homestay families. So that's our subject for tonight, which is we're looking for host families. So that would mean people who are willing to have a student from another country live with you, you're considering this, for the school year, so that's 10 months. You need to offer them a private room, 3 meals a day unless it's a school day, in which case they're responsible for lunch in school or whatever, and a supportive home environment here in Foxborough. Ideally, they would be people who had school students at the high school so that they could have that connection, go-to person. Doesn't have to be, though. It could be anyone in the community that wants to provide this experience. So the partner company, the sister company to Cambridge, is called GP Homestay. And so they're the corporate partner that vets the homestay programs. It's not something we have to do at the school level. They are professionals in this area, so they will vet and approve the homestay families through interviews and visits. They will also be the main liaison to those families. If something isn't working out with a host family, it is their responsibility. It wouldn't be mine or the school committees or the principals or anyone else. And Cambridge offers a $10,000 stipend to each host family. So it's $1,000 a month for the 10 months to offset the costs for hosting that international student in their homes. There will be an orientation for international students, host families, and the school. So we are having, most importantly, a host family parent information night on Tuesday, May 5th, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. here at Foxborough High School in room 122, which is the room right outside here with the pit. We call it the
Lecture.
what's the lecture hall? We call it the pit room, but you're right.
Lecture hall.
So the host families, if you're thinking about it at all, please come for that night. There are going to be people here from Cambridge and from GP Homestay, the people who will be responsible for this, so you'll have an opportunity to ask questions of people who really know how this works, and they do it for a living. So I'm not the expert in it, but I will be there. So that's what we're here tonight, to advertise the fact that we're trying to recruit host families. We don't need many, and there's a commonly asked questions attachment here that we have there as a handout as well, and more information will be given out at the parent information night.
So that's Tuesday, May 5th,
Yes,
6:30 to 7:30 here at the high school.
yes,
If families are interested in hosting an international student for 10 months.
yes.
For those who didn't get it the first time, sometimes I need to hear it twice.
That's right, it's good to repeat. And if you're thinking at home, this sounds familiar, yes, I sent you a ConnectEd, a Blackboard Connect email before vacation, saying this is the opportunity, this is where, and this is the date of the parent information night. So if you're hearing this and you want to make sure you have the information, go back to your email and look for one from me about recruitment of host families.
And again, we will not select the families. GP
No.
Homestay will select the families.
Yes.
Is that the
Great.
toughest part, is making sure that they've got the families for the students?
No, I think that's the first step, but I actually think that the monitoring the academic progress of the students and their adjustment to an American education is probably the hardest. From what I hear, I've been to a lot of meetings with them, I've talked to them a lot. That's why they have a separate person who's the academic mentor. And we do have one guidance counselor at the high school, Mark Cedachuk, who's gonna be responsible for those 4 or 5 students, so that they all have the same go-to person. So they'll be the only kids at Foxborough High School whose guidance counselor isn't determined by the first letter of their last name. But we believe it was important to keep them together as a group, to have the same go-to person. And as you'll hear at one of our upcoming agenda items tonight, this idea of global connectivity and learning about other cultures is really becoming so important that there are so few things you can go on and do without that being involved now. It doesn't matter if you're in manufacturing, or if you're in education, or if you're in business development. It's going to be part of your life. So we are trying to have really concrete steps that we're taking that increase that global connectivity for our students, and we hope this is the beginning, and it's a pretty powerful step that we're taking, but there's so many others that we hope to take.
You know, there are some businesses now that do not hire people unless they have exposed themselves to another culture. And we're planting the seeds with our French exchange and Spanish exchange. They prefer their hires to have at least 1 semester study in a foreign country. That is becoming, don't apply to us if you can't offer this qualification.
And you were years ahead doing that in foreign language. Sorry. You all right? You were years ahead in the foreign language department, doing these types of things. But I do think it's increasingly important that everyone have this.
I was not aware until fairly recently that there are companies
Yeah.
and want you to have a minimum of a semester's study abroad, preferably the full year, but at least. I didn't realize that was we've become that global.
Any questions for Deb? I know it's the second time we've heard about most of this, but
I know you mentioned it at our your coffee and conversation
evening.
Before vacation
At the library, yes.
and there was a lot of excitement with the group
Yes.
that we met with
Yeah,
that
we had a
night.
few people that evening that I think are interested
Yeah.
in hosting.
So hopefully we'll have a good group
Valley.
next Tuesday for your information night. It's exciting.
So far, we've had all really exciting stuff at this meeting, very positive.
I know, that's how I felt. Any more questions?
Sounds great. Proceed, right, guys?
Proceed.
Proceed. All right. Thank you, Debbie.
All right, you're welcome.
Well, just to keep the excitement rolling, computer science summer camps.
Yes, I'll try to make this brief, just capture the excitement. So, I've had a STEM expansion plan in place for a couple of years, and one of my goals was to have a intro to computer science class in place for this fall. It is, I've said it here at this table a couple of times, proven to be really challenging to find a viable curriculum that is deliverable, that can be taught by somebody who's not a computer scientist, because I can tell you, if you are a computer scientist, you're probably not teaching in a public high school. So that has proven a little bit more challenging. So that's been delayed a year. When I realized that couldn't happen, we started thinking, what else could we do? So this is a good lesson in, when I get so many emails every day, and a lot of it is you're able to filter out. And once in a while, you're about to delete without reading when you see it.
Something catches your eye.
Something. And this is one of those. So this actually came about through a cold email. And this young man, I will say, David Phillips, currently lives in California. He works for the American Chess Institute, and the founder of that company has a long history, as does David, of providing summer camp opportunities in both chess and computer science. So the email said, I'm moving to Massachusetts. I'm going to be a Harvard Law School student in the fall. My wife and I are moving here. And if a public school system is interested in learning more about our computer science summer camps, which have gone on in many, many states through the American Chess Institute, get in touch. So I emailed him. We talked the next day by phone, and he actually came in to meet with us. So Bill and I, it happened to be a day Bill Euchner and I met with him. So I've personally met with this person and met his lovely wife, and we weighed in on where we thought they should live and maybe where she should apply for a job in the Cambridge area. So it's really a great opportunity, I think, for our students. So it's just like any summer school program where the parent will pay for the summer school. It is a more expensive summer camp option as opposed to, I'll just say, Fun with Math, and the other things that we offer, because they bring all the technology. So they will be bringing in their devices, their laptop devices, and all of the coding software that they need is on it. So really, we provide the space. We provide the supervision through our Foxborough Summer School program. It will be at the Ahern School. It's 1 week in July. I think they might have one other week available in the summer, but I think they really got booked up rather quickly. So if we got a lot of registrations and we knew it early enough, there's a possibility that we could have 2 weeks, but right now it's that 1 week. So the beginners, which is open to 7 to 12 years old, is 9 a.m. to noon, the week of July 20 to 24. And the intermediate and advanced computer summer camp, which is, their program is called Code to the Future. That's their name brand program. That is from 1 to 4 p.m. in the same week, and that is open to ages 9 to 14. Roughly 1 adult for every 12 students. If we get more than that, they will bring a second person with David that's taught this before. So I'm pretty excited because it is, I think, something unique. We haven't been able to offer something like this. I think it's a great way to spark, our children, ages 7 to 14 possibly, in this area that can hopefully go on and maybe want to do something like this or just learn more about it.
So are you accepting registrations now?
Yes, so today, the summer school brochure went out last week. It was posted on our website today. That's what I was told. I didn't check, but I will. So if you're at home, you should check your Expanding Horizons Summer Camp, Foxborough Public Schools Enrichment Program brochure. All the information you need is in here, lime green this year, and the registration forms are in there, and they're available through the link on the website as well.
Okay.
And all the information
Lime
is...
green or pink?
They're all different colors.
Oh, they're all different colors.
They're all different
Well,
colors.
anyway, the one that says 2015 would be great.
With the vibrant covers.
Yes.
The vibrant covers. Look for the date.
And just to, because sometimes, people get these at home, but if you haven't participated in summer school before, you might not look at it. So I sent an email out late this afternoon, also through Blackboard Connect, to all parents and staff, actually, because other people enroll. You don't have to actually live in town, believe it or not, to go to summer school. So I sent this out
That's
to
interesting.
Yes, I sent this out to everyone through Blackboard Connect today with this exact information you see in your packet, so that people would have a heads up on it if it wasn't if you don't read your brochure cover to cover. So I hope we get great interest, because he's quite a bright and energetic young person, and I think it'll be a really good experience for our kids.
Exciting.
I snooped around on the web and thought it was a really good program, and I'm a huge code fan. There's no keyboards without codes. There's nothing else without code.
You've already booked a slot for yourself?
And yeah, I'm gonna wear, like, you know,
little over 14.
make me look younger, an outfit that makes me look younger, and go.
Are you beginner or intermediate advanced?
I can't go to the pep rally, so maybe I can go to this. Try and work it out. But it sounds like a great program, and could this lead, Deb, do you think, to other doors opening for us or for Mr. Phillips going forward with the programs that you're trying to get built for computer science? You know, meeting friends,
I
networking.
may have mentioned, as an expert in this area,
help
can you
us
do a
help
little
you
research
type
for me?
thing.
Because
Yeah.
I've had a few people doing it, and you know, trying to help me out with that, but it's really elusive. I was surprised. I really expected to find a couple of options that we could then vet and see which one fit us, because we do have someone in the wonderful social studies department that, not necessarily looking at you two people, but there is someone we have that's interested, but it's got to be something deliverable.
Oh, right, I'm not saying solid, I'm just saying it's just a gateway.
So I did ask him,
Okay, great, thank you.
because why not? You don't know who's going to get you the
Can't-
lead that will
can't if you don't
lead to
ask.
something, but so far, it's been elusive.
You need a motion for any of that, or, no?
Just some clapping.
Just some clapping.
Doesn't, yes,
No.
definitely.
I'll give you some verbal applause. I think these last two topics speak really well, Debbie, to your, continued contributions. But we've asked you to expand our students' horizons to global culture, and you found the China program, the Cambridge Institute program. And this lack of a computer science curriculum is a gap.
Yes.
And rather than just say we're still looking, I appreciate that you two have come up with something to at least help some of our students. I think we've got to keep pushing. But I appreciate the fact that you've, done a couple of things here that are spot on, so.
And high quality.
Absolutely.
High
You know,
quality.
this is a high quality short program.
Well, we have a staff member, I assume, there with him, since he's not known to us
no,
as an
we've-
instructor. How does that work?
We have supervision, Sue's left, but we
Yeah.
have many
Just as part
outside
of the
people.
regular
They're
summer
not all
program.
our staff that
Yeah.
do the summer program, the various different, so there's supervision of the summer camp through our extended day program, so, through Kathy
People on
Layton's
site.
program. Yes, we do have people on site. He's already been queried and vetted and everything else.
Yeah, I'm
so.
sure he's great, just curious.
We also queried his wife in case she showed up to help him, so we figured, let's just get everybody done right in the beginning. But and thank you for saying that, though, because I think some of my best days are when I feel like I've made something happen. So it's when good things are happening for kids, I'm happy, and I feel like these are two things that I really worked on directly. I like to work on projects myself directly, and so these certainly have come about from that, and I think it'll be great, and I can't wait to go visit it in the summer.
And I can never let you rest on the laurels too long. Now you've got to figure out how to take it from 12 students
I know.
to
24.
2,800. Small challenge.
Yeah, anyone out there?
She's up to it. She's up to it.
I
She
believe
has my
in,
vote.
what's that phrase, shared responsibility.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what I believe in.
I'm really
That's
thrilled
great.
with the two programs. I know the committee is too.
I'm glad that it extends up to age 14 for the intermediate and advanced, because I remember we had some very enthusiastic coders who came. Did they come to talk about the Hour of Code?
Yes, they do that every year, and they've
but
started
they
to
came to one of our
infiltrate some of their
teaching and learning
classes with
highlights,
that.
and they were middle school students who
Yes.
I would think would be drawn to something like this. So I'm glad that it is an opportunity, and I think sending out the Blackboard Connect was good, because sometimes when they get a little bit older, they're a little less inclined to go to the
That's
summer
true.
program, but this is something, especially that intermediate advanced class,
Right.
that may appeal to a certain bunch
And
of
even
kids.
if you have a 7-year-old,
Yes.
he said, don't be afraid if they have
No.
no experience whatsoever. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think that'll fill up quickly.
You mentioned that there might be another week available.
Well, maybe not by now, but
Okay. Well,
we're going to
my
wait and
thought
see how
was-
the registrations go.
My thought was to see if there was another week. might it be an opportunity for the high schoolers to see
No.
the same program? Okay, or a similar
One of the
program?
problems is that we can't, this is the problem, so I probably shouldn't have even said that. We can't go too far into August because that's
Okay.
when all the floors are being waxed and
Oh,
cleaning.
okay.
So if
Yeah.
I were to venture down that road of using another week, I probably am gonna interfere with the summer cleaning schedule, and this is a very, very short summer, because as you know, the kids are coming back a little bit earlier, so I ought to zip it right now and just make sure the summer work gets done. That's the problem.
Thank you.
Unless we found you a location, but,
Let's just see how it all rolls
yeah,
out.
no, I agree. Great. Good. Anything else on that one? We are moving right along.
Very exciting.
Speaking of people who make things happen, I'd like to invite Mr. Tom Murray, who's our social studies department head, and Dan Grady, one of our fab social studies history teachers, up to the guest table. And they are here to tell you about their latest, greatest new idea, which is a special travel opportunity.
Yes.
Go
We
right
currently do some domestic stuff. Our history club this year took a group of students to Washington DC, which was absolutely excellent, including Joe, of course. We've done other things within the history club of bringing kids to New York City. We have multiple foreign exchange students going over to France, going to Spain, even going to England. And here's another opportunity for our social studies and for all of our students to make us more of an international school. So.
Yeah, so I got in touch. Shannon Wazalewski does a trip to England through EF Tours, and so I looked at some other opportunities that they offer. And one of the trips that they offer brings the students to France and to Italy, and so I thought it would be a really fun opportunity as well as an educational opportunity because they could explore the culture as well as the history. The high school curriculum does focus on world history, and then the American curriculum has many ties to the European history as well. So from that perspective, I thought it was a really great tie-in. The trip, there's some potential for it between how many days it is and exactly where it's going to go. But the basic idea is giving the students an opportunity to visit both France and Italy. And before I started going any further with it, I just wanted to propose it here because the students do have to budget financially for a trip like this. They have to put a deposit down, and I didn't want to get any students' hopes up that a trip like this would happen, but I especially didn't want them to get tied up in any sense financially without knowing that this trip actually had any chance of going forward. So that's what the trip offers.
I don't even need to ask questions, I just want to vote yes, but
Well, I have I'll confess to a personal bias because my son, who was very much a particular fan of the social studies department when he was in high school and was motivated to do what he does from it, went on this trip when he was here in high school. So this isn't actually the first time Foxborough High School has done it. So he went on, at the time, it was London, Paris, and Rome. Still talks about it to this day, at age 30, about the impression that just the buildings, he still goes on about it. So he had a very memorable trip that he learned a lot about culture and history, and I think it only fuels the passion a little bit more. So we said yes as parents. If you're listening at home, parents, and you're saying, oh my goodness, this is gonna be costly, make them pay half, that's what we did. And
you can fundraise is another
and you
piece,
can
especially
fundraise.
when you have time to plan this out. If you can see what that budget is, many of our kids can work part-time jobs, and they could have shoveled this past winter, that's for sure. There's always something out there to do, okay?
At my house alone, it would have been a steady job.
So I have experienced something similar, and it was a fabulous opportunity, and so I just think it's great. I don't know when it stopped, but now I'm wondering.
comments, questions? Tina?
I was telling my freshman son at supper tonight about this opportunity and the 9-day proposed itinerary, which sounds phenomenal. But thank you for taking this on and exploring this opportunity. I think it's another great opportunity for our kids to see a part of the world. that is outside of our community. So I think it's great and exciting, and it ties in with what they're studying from freshman year on. So
It does.
it's fabulous. Thank
And,
you.
and Debbie, as you said, I did a trip similar to this in high school, and it really is one of those things that you just never forget, you know, and so.
It's a transforming
making sure that they have
experience.
those opportunities is
We were just with our kid Saturday night, he was talking about it, just Saturday night, and I didn't even mention this, that they're doing it again, so he was talking about his memories of it, and it does make it, you put in here, it makes an impression, a long-lasting impression, it really does.
How many kids do you think you would take? Depends how many.
So that,
interested.
yeah, I believe, if I remember correctly, a full bus is 46 students.
Okay.
And so if that many students were interested,
Mhm.
I think that that's an ideal size from the tour perspective, because then you're all together and there's no other schools involved. At minimum, I believe it's 6 students. So.
And sometimes you're paired up with a group from another high school.
Correct, exactly. So if we had 20 students, they would pair us up with another,
Right.
and kind of make that full
Like
bus.
that is-
So it really is, I think 46 would be the absolute max, from that perspective, and then we would consider some type of, wait list or something along those lines. But I have floated it out to my students, and I know that there's a lot of excitement for it, so I don't think that meeting the 6 student minimum would be too difficult.
Great.
Dan, a comment and a question from me. The comment is, I love how you've tied the idea of the trip to some academic standards and suggested that this is really relevant for the 9th grade curriculum and the 11th grade curriculum. Because suddenly I think, if you're a parent of a 9th grader or 11th grader next year, you say, wow, we could really bring this to life, So I like that a lot. And the question is, the $3,400 approximate cost, that would cover, we intend to cover all the costs by the parents or the student attending, right? This is not an additional.
Except for souvenirs.
Yes, my understanding is that it covers, it definitely covers the hotels, it definitely covers the transportation, it definitely covers the airfare.
And it
As
covers,
far
I think,
as
breakfast and dinner daily
breakfast
on
and
page
dinner,
2.
yes. So I think the only thing is, I believe that there's maybe 1 or 2 days where there's a lunch, but usually the students are on their own for lunch, because, as you're touring around, you'll stop somewhere. So the only real cost would be lunches and souvenirs.
So just to be clear, Bill, our costs would be our chaperones or?
No,
not
covered in the trip cost.
Terrific.
None of our,
Yeah.
none of our trips cost the district budget.
Right. Just,
Which is
Yes.
just being clear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a great question. Which is great, because saving the district, so.
Steve?
Do we have any exposure legally that we have to cover do we have to add to our insurance plan or anything like that? Or
Well, they're a
how is the
student
student protected?
They offer a student insurance plan that goes right with it.
We put on the, on your table, information about the typical forms that the high school uses when
Yeah,
they're
we
traveling.
get those just now, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
but it doesn't.
I hadn't read them, I'm sorry.
I mean, we have 3 groups that travel overseas every year as it is, so it's not any different from those.
Most of those travel packages actually have insurance, individual insurances, so.
Right.
So
And
it's
handled all through
Thank
that,
you.
so, and they help with the mechanism which makes it very easy for us. I'll tell you, I got so homesick for Paris looking at this that I went out and I have already in my refrigerator the biggest French croissant that I could find for tomorrow's breakfast. And I promise if I start talking about Paris, I won't keep you beyond midnight, okay?
I did
But
have
one-
one other question.
I just want to say, it mentions Place Vendôme, and there is a marvelous column in the middle of the Place Vendôme, which you have to walk by and walk around. It's made of Napoleon's melted down cannons, and as you go up, it shows all his different campaigns and victories, right up to the top of the column.
That's great. That's very cool.
Tina?
My other question, I guess I'm on a numbers kick, but what would be the chaperone to student ratio? Just depending. So if you had 46 students, how many
For
chaperones would
every
you
6 students, 1 chaperone's able to go.
Mhm.
So for every 6
Worth it.
students, there's
Okay.
1 chaperone, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other comments?
You are going to do the extended tour, right?
No,
With the tech?
I believe the 9-day would be most appropriate because the 9th day and the 10th day would
Right.
not only cost more money, but then you also run into it going far outside of the vacation.
Missing
Okay.
more school.
Wow, this is great.
Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the 2016 Foxborough High School European trip
I'll
as
make the
proposed?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Thank you, guys. This is great.
Thank you so much. Have a good night. Have a good night. Thanks.
Thank you.
Always said, now I'm gonna go to that one, okay? You go to computer science
The
camp.
computer camp, I can't
Oh,
go.
you go,
yeah,
you
I
go to the
can't.
pep rally, you go to,
Yeah.
I'm going on that.
This is gonna be your trip.
That's
man.
amazing. That's amazing.
That's
What
fabulous.
an opportunity.
We certainly, as a school district, offer so many incredible possibilities to our young people.
I like Dan coming up with this and exploring something that was
Yeah.
being done, but not for these locations, and it offers more kids an opportunity, and
Right.
I appreciate them doing their due diligence and doing it now because these kids are heading into summer vacation, and if they're really serious and this is something they want to do, they can work to earn some money to pay for it. You know, if it's a financial hardship on a family, the kids can really get out there and they have time to do it, as opposed to saying in, I don't know, January, oh, we're doing a trip in April. Well, then, you know, there's a little
They
time
have
crunch.
a year lead.
Mm-hmm.
did you want to say, are you listening, Jack? Is that-
Make your best case, kids.
Yep. Mr. Yukna?
This will be relatively quick. At this point in the year, the only real change is on one of the payroll accounts where we have an opening that's not been filled, and by the time we advertise and fill it, pretty much the rest of the year will have evaporated on us. So it's increased our surplus from about 9,500 last time to about 20,000. We are looking at a couple accounts that we're a little concerned about. Transportation for our special needs out of district is a little bit more expensive than we anticipated. And one of our utility accounts is a little higher, so my assumption is we'll probably be using this up pretty quickly with those. But we still have, you know, numerous accounts that we're, you know, obviously not at this point to be able to you know, determine the actual final balances on yet. So I'm not concerned that we have any issue for the end of the year, just, you know, but I do see some needs for some of this money already that we just haven't quite allocated yet.
So you already have places for this 20,000 to go?
I think our between our sped transportation and our one of our utility accounts, we'll probably use up at least 15 of it. So, but again, there's, you know, we have hundreds of accounts, so there's a lot of things that haven't been finalized yet, and it's too early on some of them. The utility ones, by the time our next one comes out, will be pretty much closed down because now we're through the main parts of the year, and our last big bill will be coming, the one that comes in this month. So we'll see where we sit there. And, you know, we have been running well on our transportation as far as the fuel side, so that may make up for some of the differences as well. Obviously, the fuel costs have gone down significantly this year, although we're not getting, you know, a high credit because there's a balance that's left on the town side to cover fuel. So, again, I'm not concerned about the level that we're at right now. I'm just warning you that there will be a little bit of expensive, you know, that we know we're looking at right now. That will come out of this. So
we're gonna come, this will be one of the closest years we've come to
well, again, depending,
being shaved way down.
it depends on really how the rest of the accounts close out, so.
Right.
But
So
we should be
a lot
fine.
can still change, right?
I would still
lot of
expect that we'll
flicks
see
and
some
takes.
swings, you know, again, if we get retirement issues or stuff like that, you know, again, we don't have all that information in front of us either yet, so.
Any questions? Go ahead, Steve.
The grant shift, we were kind of ready for that, right? I
Well,
mean,
we took it in consideration last time.
Right, yeah, when we discussed it, okay. And they're not
Which
gigantic.
is, actually, that's a good point.
They're not crippling rejection.
That's part of the reason we're so close.
Right.
Because
right.
of the, we had to make up some ground
Right.
with those 2 grant reductions, both METCO and full-day kindergarten.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that at the other school too, at the VOTEC, so there was an affect from that. Thanks.
Other questions for Bill? Could I get a motion to accept the budget summary statement?
Motion to accept as presented.
Second?
All those in favor? Thank you. Bill, just while you have the stage for a moment, I just want to say thank you for some of your work, and I'm sure Debbie and Amy and the rest of the team, on the new baseball fields. I know they've been open for a little while now, but I got a chance to drive by and sit in the parking lot today for the first time and watch the JV out there. And, you know, it seems to me in a relatively short period of time, we've got 2 new fields out there, which already look pretty darn good considering, and I know we'll just grow in and mature. And I know from having met with you individually, there was some work you had to do last minute to just make some minor tweaks and adjustments and to do it right and to have everything. And I didn't go walk the field by any means. I know you guys do that plenty, but I just sat there proud of the new campus, you know, of kids out there playing ball already. I know we got the bullpen pads and the stands and all that you've updated me on, but it was really kind of neat, just sitting there watching these kids play. And
Well, I think to your point, and I think to Deb's point all along here, the more kids that we can keep on this campus, the more activity happens around the school itself. I think you see more kids actually even watching other kids. So I think that's the big difference now, where, you know, the travel to the other, you know, location still is a problem for track and you know, for some of the other sports, but you know, more and more of the activity is able to happen here. And you know, again, I think a lot of thanks actually goes out to the 5 different baseball organizations that use our field, you know, for being willing to stay off last year and give us the ability to do what we did. It's, you know, it's not to the level it was when we, you know, the old field that we took down, but within the next year or two, with the right treatments, and we've got a program going forward on, I do believe it will be right back up to that same level of turf. The Boosters Club still is going to be putting up the dugouts fairly shortly. You know, we have some additional fencing going around the softball field. Actually, probably sometime this week that will start.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I think, you know,
Stuff on the fence. We're
yeah,
still waiting
the
for
safety guards on the fence have actually been ordered that hopefully will be here this week, and we'll get that up. So, you know, I think we're pulling all the pieces together. Again, I'll probably come back to you and borrow some more money off of the, hopefully if we have some at the end here to wrap that up, but it will be, you know, a project that's been basically in a 2.5-year project to start to finish, but really.
And that is all Bill. I take no
well,
credit.
so.
But it is. I think to ask people, you know, it is difficult to build a whole new complex when there was nothing out there, but trees and then stumps. But I think, so if, you know, if there are things that aren't quite right or that we're finishing, just be patient, communicate, let us know. Bill and his team are very responsive. So, you know, we'll get there close to perfection eventually, and right now I think it's in great shape. So it's, you know, it takes a team. So you can just ask people if things aren't exactly right, we'll fix it and we'll keep going, and let's all just work together on it. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful complex back there.
And it's just going to mature, you know.
Yes.
But as Bill says, you know, kudos to the baseball guys for their flexibility, and certainly we disrupted a little bit of what we had going, and but you know, it's going to come in time.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I did watch probably 6 foul balls in the short time I was there go into the woods.
Well, we were just discussing the netting today, and what we had agreed to was let this season go by and see how much of a problem it is. So we may be looking at that for next season. But that is, it's funny you should say that, because we were just talking about that today.
Well, you know, like you said, you know, we'll continue to get feedback and watch it and make tweaks. But I appreciate it, Bill. I know you've put in some extra time and effort on and Caitlin and the rest of the team.
Yeah,
So
Caitlin's great.
Well, you guys have also supported, obviously, using a lot of our revolving accounts and things like that to do the job the right way. And I think that's, you know, we weren't flush with having, you know, all the money in the world to do whatever we wanted to do as we did. So we kind of did everything piece by piece and just made sure we tried to take the steps in the right order. So I'm comfortable that the few things, as Deb said, that are left to be done, we can accomplish in a very short period of time. So it's, you know, I think financially we were very responsible with the way we did it. So.
And the boosters have been very generous about some of the components in the field.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I think it's a great
And the
community effort.
boosters are still contributing. I mean, they're going up.
Yeah.
We haven't seen everything they've contributed yet.
Great.
great, thanks, Bill. Donation.
Yes.
With gratitude.
Yes, with great gratitude. Schneider Electric has once again donated $10,000 toward our summer math camp, which we started several years ago with their support. And I think it's really a credit to their community mission that they're still contributing, because, when a company shifts from Inventus to Schneider Electric or is bought out by another, you don't always get to see the same continuity of community involvement and support, and this is an area they're keenly interested in. This is our STEM initiative, so I want to really make sure we thank them even more so for continuing this effort with the shift to new ownership. And so $10,000 to run our math camps, very much appreciated, and we wouldn't be able to do it without that support, so.
And is Mr. Eva still pretty
He is.
instrumental in making this happen?
Absolutely is, yes. Thank you to Mr. John Eva.
Okay, so I know Steve wanted to abstain just for his connection, which I certainly understand. But do we have a motion to accept the donation from Schneider Electric for $10,000 for summer math camp?
I would be delighted to make that motion.
And I would like to second that.
And I'll add the with gratitude part. All those in favor? 301. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Eva and team at Schneider Electric. And I believe we're on to other matters.
I have 4 wonderful other matters.
I can do one of them if you want.
Oh, goody, I had those too.
Oh, no, you do it.
Go ahead.
No.
Here's your handouts.
Oh, you make handouts?
Yes.
Well,
I just didn't want to put them on your desk before because I thought I was surprising her, but then.
This probably is too small for Mr. Everson to pick up, but our own Beverly Lord is receiving recognition, a National Theater Award, and I'm going to just read this if I can. Beverly Lord of Foxborough, Massachusetts, is being honored with the AACT Fellow Award from the American Association of Community Theater, which is what AACT refers to. The award will be presented at an award ceremony during the AACT National Community Theater Festival, AACT Fest 2015 in Grand Rapids, Michigan, on June 23rd to 27th, 2015. The AACT Fellow Award is bestowed upon those members of AACT who, over a period of years, have contributed significantly to the idea and ideal of community theater. Beverly Lord majored in theater in college. During her junior year abroad in Paris, she studied acting at the École de Renée. Renée Simon. Her career as a high school French teacher also included directing musicals. She served several years on the Foxborough Arts Council. Bevy is on the Committee of Public Action for the Arts in Boston. She performs with and volunteers for Bay Colony Productions at the Orpheum in Foxborough and with the Friendly Society of Weston, known as the second oldest amateur theater company, founded January 12, 1885. Second oldest amateur theater company in the United States. She serves on the board of directors of the New England Theater Conference, where she chairs the Marie Phillips Service to NETC Award and adjudicates plays and musicals for the Moss Hart Award. She is the NETC Region 1 rep on the AACT board and has served twice as a delegate to the International Amateur Theater Association World Congress and Festival in Monaco. Still involved in education, Bevy has chaired and continues to serve on the Foxborough School Committee. So, Bevy, on behalf of the committee and all of your friends here, congratulations on a fantastic achievement.
Thank you very much. And believe you me, I quickly double-checked the calendar, and I don't have to miss a school committee meeting for this. Although I would have. I would have to receive this award, but I don't have to.
Now we know where Bevy is, all those times.
I was there live. It was great.
And Bruce has brought his family to see me perform on that.
Oh, that Weston Theater is pretty neat.
Yeah. Nice house.
And he brought a daughter to see White Christmas.
Nice. So you're right, Debbie, she apparently isn't making it up when she goes off and
No.
says she's...
This is where the Renaissance woman is when she's traveling. But congratulations, Bevy.
Thank you very much.
Deserved, and who have had quite the career, never mind as an educator, but quite the career in community theater and continue to be really a model for everybody in that. Really admire that.
Thank you.
And it's a beautiful photo.
It is a beautiful photo.
Thanks to Janet for the color photos, because we liked it in color.
All right, sorry to upstage you, go ahead.
No, I'm glad you did. So the other three.
Get that upstager?
No, that's.
I love it.
Oh, very clever. It's a good one. A couple of things. In your packet, you have our flyer for Bus to the Future. So the committee is invited to join us, by the way, in Bus to the Future. So this is a senior citizen visiting day. If you recall, last year, we had 2 visiting days for the Foxborough senior citizens. One was at the high school in April, and the other was at the middle school in June. This year, we've combined it into one, and I want to give credit to one of our seniors in Foxborough, Nancy Stockwell, who last spring, when we were talking about our events last spring, and it was the first time I had met her, and she said, when I lived in Pennsylvania, before I moved here a few years ago, we did Bus to the Future. We got on a bus and we just went and visited all the schools. And I said, now what was the focus? She goes, oh, we just went to visit the schools. I said, I love Bus to the Future. I'm gonna use your idea, but combine it with technology, because that's the future. Technology is the future. So all credit to the very clever title, Bus to the Future, to Nancy Stockwell. And this is going to be on Friday, May 8th. We are going to pick the seniors up on one of our buses at the Senior Center at 9 o'clock. We're going to stop at Foxborough High School to see the video production class and our really impressive language lab, an American Sign Language class. Then we are going to travel to the Taylor Elementary School to see a grade 4 virtual field trip, and should have an asterisk there, to see document cameras used in mathematics. Then we are going to travel to the Ahern Middle School to see the music technology lab live that you just heard about tonight. We're going to have a nice lunch at the Ahern Middle School prepared by our very talented food service department. And we are going to then travel to the Borough Elementary School to see interactive whiteboard technology and learn a little bit more about that. And then we're going to end our day at the Igo Elementary School seeing a mystery Skype, which is a form of video conferencing our 4th grades have been using this year and last year.
Mystery Skype?
Mystery Skype. It's really pretty great to watch. And they're also going to see an example of using the iPad for special education.
That's awesome.
So it's really an opportunity for, as I put on the flyer, would you like to see technology being used in today's classrooms? Is very different from what we all remember, certainly I remember. And please join us to tour our 5 Foxborough schools to see firsthand how some of our newest technologies help students learn. And then we're going to return them back to the senior center. So they're signing up at the senior center. We have a great turnout. You're welcome to join us. You can come in and out. You have the schedule. If you want to just pop in at 1 or 2 of the schools, that would be great.
I'm going to.
And I can't wait.
I think it's pretty cool.
It's going to be fabulous. And what a great idea she had. It's so clever. We have congratulations to a few students at the Borough School. Well, one who each year we announce the Massachusetts Aggression Reduction Center called MARC poster and poetry contest about anti-bullying and standing up as a bystander. So at the Borough Elementary School, Jake Pereira won 2nd place in grade 4 poetry contest. And at the Taylor Elementary School, 3 students, Paige Curran, Madeline Mayer, and Ashley Shaler, won grade 4 honorable mention in the poster contest. Grade 4 honorable mention in the poetry contest was Samantha Conley and Sarah Howard, who I believe might be repeat winners. And I think it's great that our students participate in that, and every year we have a few winners, which is wonderful that the students are keeping the messages about that alive. And last but not least, at least not in my world, as you know, we had talked about the fact that the turf field lighting is a capital improvement project proposal that is going to town meeting on May 11th. And I've said at this table that that as a community, we would take ownership of starting the fundraising for the next phase, which is the concession stand, and working together as a school and athletic community to get that going. So I now have a very talented committee, Caitlin Brown, Melissa Mailing, and Mary Jo Carnino, 2 Booster Club active members, telling you get those 2 ladies and Caitlin Brown on a committee, that is all you need. They are dynamos. And we have come up with a fundraising plan that we are starting today, executing. And we've met a couple of times already, and we'll continue to meet to keep this going. So our major partner for fundraising is Splitsville up at Patriot Place. And so a few things are going on that parents will hear about through boosters, through emails, through Facebook, through parent outreach of all kinds. And our first is called Bowling and Dining for a Cause. So on a Monday through Thursday, June 15th to 18th, that particular week, the Sam Burns Community Field concession stand fundraising. It will go, all this will go into the turf field gift account, which we already have existing, so that we can pay for things out of that. So that already exists, and we will receive a 20% profit on all dine-in and takeout orders at Splitsville with the flyer that has been sent out to parents and that you'll see published there. So it's very similar to other organizations where you see if you patronize that establishment they're giving us actually 4 days. Normally it's one night, and we asked for a week, and they're willing to give us Monday through Thursday. So
That's awesome.
yes, it's terrific. Even better is we're going to have an adult night out on Thursday, May 28th, and we're calling it the Sam Burns Community Field Fundraiser. So this is 7 to 10 p.m., adults only, $40 a ticket per person. And Splitsville is generously agreeing to have a 50% profit split on the ticket price. So they will provide all of the things you see on the flyer that you have here. So it'll be a really nice, I'm calling it a Foxborough night out, because I think we're gonna have a great turnout. And that's adult night out to benefit Sam Burns Community Field concession stand. Your ticket price includes admission to Splitsville and Howl at the Moon, a buffet, bowling, live entertainment. The Howl at the Moon show starts at 8 o'clock, and there will be a cash bar. Tickets can be purchased through any of the FHS Booster Club presidents, in the main office at Foxborough High School, at the Foxborough Public Schools Superintendent's Office, and at the Town Recreation Department. And they have created an online purchase of tickets as well, the Melissa, the soccer booster president, and you can also make a donation to the cause if you can't go. So information will be coming in the next week or so, and we expect a great turnout for that. I think it'll be a fun event, and I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to show that we can come together as a community to accomplish some of these things that we would like to see on our campus. So,
Just
yes.
brainstorming. Since that's a school night, I think.
Yes, it is.
Which night, the Tuesday?
No, the
It's a
Thursday,
Thursday
May
night.
28th.
The 28th, well, so.
Do you think the Honor Society might offer sitting or anything like that?
I don't think they have babysitting facilities there.
No. But what about?
Here,
Hmm.
like go to the high school and then go? I don't know. Because who's gonna supervise the babysitting?
I don't know. Go plant that seed. You don't have to answer now. I worry about our ability to optimize the event on a school night, and yet I know why Splitsville would want to do it on a weekday night.
Well, they won't almost close the place on a Friday or Saturday, so.
Exactly.
Let's see.
Just a thought. No, you don't have
All right.
to, just brainstorm.
I'll mull it over. Okay, and then we wanted to do something that involves students, so came up with this idea. Committee liked it. They picked the theme, which I think is great, called Schools Out for the Summer. Not quite, it's not really out for the summer at this point. This is a tentative date, because we just found out today that if we have it on that date that you see listed here in early June, we'd have to collapse it into a smaller period of time. So we're working on deciding that by tomorrow. And it's called FHS Tournament of Champions. So students could register a team of 4. Faculty could register a team of 4. It could be a combined faculty-student team. And each team is gonna pay a registration fee. It's basically a bowl-a-thon, and there'll be a couple of rounds, and we'll give prizes to the top 3 teams, all cash food and non-alcoholic beverages, because it's an after-school time period, are cash only. So it kind of keeps it neat. Splitsville is donating their facility and the access to the food and non-alcoholic beverages, and we will get the profit for the team registrations. Keeps it nice and clean. Our students have designed a T-shirt. This was also one of the committee's ideas, one of the fabulous 2 committee ladies, Mary Jo and Melissa. Designed by FHA students. We're gonna sell the T-shirts at various events and locations through late spring and summer. And I've seen the design, and I have to say, it's so beautifully appropriate. We have our beloved warrior on the front, and it says the title, and I believe the credit is to Meg Ennis, one of our very talented students, and it says, "Live the Inspiration, Foxborough High School," and on the back, it says Sam Burns Community Field. If we have businesses that want to sponsor the T-shirts, their names will be printed below the Sam Burns Community Field on the back of the T-shirt. So we're looking for corporate sponsors and acknowledge them on the T-shirts, and with a plaque placed permanently on the concession stand. We're gonna sell T-shirts at the Splitsville events and everywhere we can think of. And We will have a booth on Election Day inside the back entrance of the Ahern to promote our fundraising events and the T-shirts. So the town has graciously agreed to give us a table. I believe we'll have a presence at Founder's Day as well.
I was going to just ask if you thought about Founder's Day.
Yes, and so we're off and running for our concession stand fundraiser. So our goal is to provide the main income for the basic concession stand without the public restrooms, which we estimate as about $75,000. So we're hoping to get a really good start this spring.
It's a detailed plan, boy.
It is.
Go ahead, Tina.
That's it. I think it's a great plan. A lot of thought's been put into it. I've already seen the May 28th night on Facebook, so we're leveraging social media, and it's fun, and it's a great party, which is, never miss a party was Sam's philosophy. So what a great way to honor him and to raise money for the concession stand and bring our community together. So I think this is great. I love the thought that has already been put into it, though. That's great. Thank you. Thanks to the committee.
Oh, Melissa, Mary Jo, you're watching. They are.
Absolutely.
We tell you.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I was going to do the same. Thank you, Mary Jo, Melissa, Caitlin, and Splitsville. It's a pretty exciting plan.
It's very exciting.
We'll see how far we get. Then we'll see what the fall will bring.
Right.
And I know I'm forgetting something, but that's all I have right now. Hope y'all had a great vacation week, and we're back full swing on day one after vacation. I think that's all I have.
Bevy, anything?
Actually, I wanted to do a theater thing. I was unable to be in town for the delightful one-act musical presented at the Ahern School just prior to vacation because I was at the Maine Community Theater Festival. So I had a legitimate excuse, but I asked permission, could I please watch one of the final dress rehearsals, which I did, and of course it was a delightful production. But I also want to mention the Foxborough High School drama. We have a wonderful English teacher, Shannon Wazalewski, who for years did the drama program, and then she, because of the study of Shakespeare and her cultural awareness, started taking trips through EF, which is very well organized, to London. And they would tour many things, including Globe Theatre, and see real theater in London. I've been in her position. You cannot do theater and trips all at once. She this year has completed her 6th. So she stepped down from that. And there is one person that's never officially received any recognition or any thanks for the effort and the time that she, as a lone person, spent keeping the thought and hope of drama alive at Foxborough High School. And that is Mrs. Joan Marino. And I personally, from the theater standpoint, want to thank her. She was the lone person who came forward. And I've tried to do things alone, and it's hard. And when you are the one person in one hand carrying the torch for theater, it leaves you only one other hand to do everything else, to gather anybody, keep any kind of theater alive, and you literally become a one-handed, what's that expression? The one-armed paper hanger.
That's it.
One-armed, and she received very little help, nor did she receive any, I don't think she received appropriate thanks for, if it had not been for her, the replacement of 3 people to pick up what she was trying to do as a single person would never have happened. So Joan Marino, thank you for keeping the torch of theater alive at Foxborough High School for 3 years. And I think
Very
that's
well
aptly expressed.
Absolutely.
And she just needs a big thank you, I think.
Good.
Agree.
Good point.
Thank you.
Anything else, Bev?
That's it.
All right, well said. Tina?
My croissant tomorrow morning.
Enjoyed that. The only thing I'm going to add is the art festival, the street art festival.
That's coming up this weekend.
Saturday.
Yeah,
this
that's
Saturday.
Well, it was Shrek. I thought was wonderful.
And Shrek was wonderful,
Love
but
the
I
message.
just
And that, yes, I boy, if I don't write it down, it nags at me.
Well,
Like,
there are too many things to.
there are so many great things going on. The Foxborough Street Painting Festival at Patriot Place,
This Saturday.
which is a partnership between our K-12 art department under the lead of Kelly Akasha, Dr. Victor Young from Foxborough Dental Associates, who's sponsoring the expenses for the materials and the prizes involved. And, because he's definitely an arts, he really appreciates the arts, and he came last summer to meet with us and wanted to support something in the arts, and we put his desire together with Kelly Akasha wanting to do a street painting festival, because they experienced that in Providence. And put those two people together, and then we thought about where we could have it, and we reached out to Patriot Place, Diana Griffin, I want to give her a shout out, because they stepped to the plate and said not only would they provide it, because this street painting festival, you get a 6x6 section of the pavement, and you create using chalk your own piece of art right then. It's like sandcastle building. It'll come and then go away. And anyone can buy a square. So it could be local artists, it could be students. It's going to be a great day on Saturday. And so with our wonderful partners at the Patriot Place, who, what they want to do, they have not only come forward with hosting it, but they're going to have other events around it. They have helped advertise it. They've been absolutely great.
What is the time frame? I've forgotten.
It's, I think, noon to 6.
Noon to 6?
Yes. It's gonna be terrific, so that's a can't-miss event, so that's a great example of someone who wants to support with a talented department that has a great idea, and our corporate partners that can make it happen in a wonderful public location.
And then you get to come home and go to Pops on Saturday night.
I am doing exactly that, so Pops this weekend, Saturday night and Sunday.
And Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
I have one more thing while we're thinking about it. And Saturday's a busy day because it's also Clean Up Foxborough Day in the morning. And I've had the good fortune to be working with Mr. Othelette and AJ Dooley on Clean Up Foxborough Day, and I have been taking all of the registrations and compiling them. And I just want to say I'm so proud of our students. I know so many kids, but we have had so many elementary, middle, and high school students sign up to give their time Saturday morning between 8 and 12 to help clean up our town, and I'm just so happy to be a part of this. So you can clean up Foxborough, go to the art festival, and then come back and go to the Pops. It's a great day on Saturday. Good day to be in Foxborough.
And actually, I try whenever I can to go to both Pops Saturday night and Sunday afternoon, because believe it or not, they are two entirely different programs.
They are.
I mean, it's a weekend of incredible music.
Thank you. Amy?
Not even, just looking forward to Saturday.
Steve?
I hope they sell cookies at Pops, chocolate chip ones, because I'm going to buy them when I'm there Saturday night. And this week, as I understand it, again, our musicians on the road down in Williamsburg and down in Virginia, I guess, gold and silvered through adjudication processes again. I don't have the exact details.
I don't think they recognize the others.
It'll show up. It'll show up on the internet somewhere, and our students and staff are again wowing people in the South now. So that's another day in Foxborough's paradise.
And then the following weekend, I think, is Ellington in New York City.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
Another big show.
Bill?
I'm good.
Janet?
All set, thanks.
He's
Motion
busy finding us money.
Yes, he does a good job at it.
I'll motion that we adjourn.
Second.
I'll make.
All those in favor? Good night, everybody.
Thank you.